If someone told you to hold your hand over an open flame, you would refuse instantly. It's a logical, self-preservative instinct. So why? Why do so many of us stay in relationships that burn us day after day? This is the great painful paradox that so many people face and that so many outsiders fail to understand. The advice is always so simple, isn't it? Just leave. You're smart. Why would you stay? I would never put up with that. But the truth is, just leaving is the most simplistic and damaging advice you can give. Because the person staying is often no longer making a simple choice. They are reacting to a complex set of psychological forces designed to keep them exactly where they are. Staying in a toxic relationship isn't a sign of weakness. It is the predictable and often tragic symptom of a mind that has been systematically rewired. Today, we are not talking about bad choices. We are exploring the hidden psychology, the invisible chains that keep good, intelligent, capable people trapped. We're talking about trauma bonding, cognitive dissonance, and the terrifying paralysis of learned helplessness. If you feel stuck, or if you've ever wondered why someone you love just can't leave, this explanation is for you. First, we must understand that for many people, the toxic relationship doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like an addiction. The mechanism for this is one of the most powerful psychological tools in existence: intermittent reinforcement. Think of a slot machine. You pull the lever, nothing. You pull it again, nothing. Again, nothing. You're ready to walk away, then jackpot. The bells ring, the lights flash, your brain floods with dopamine. It feels incredible. Now, you will sit at that machine for hours, losing money, enduring the boredom, just to get that one hit again. The key is this: the machine doesn't reward you every time, it rewards you randomly. And that unpredictability is what makes it so addictive. A toxic relationship operates on the exact same principle. The abuser doesn't abuse you 24/7. If they did, leaving would be easy. Instead, they operate in a cycle. There are the bad days, the yelling, the silent treatment, the gaslighting, the cruelty. These are the losses at the slot machine. But then comes the good day. Suddenly, they are the charming, loving, wonderful person you first met. They apologize. They buy you gifts. They tell you everything you've ever wanted to hear. Jackpot. That good day is the intermittent reinforcement. Your brain, starved for affection, latches onto it. It gets a flood of dopamine and oxytocin, the bonding hormone. You don't become addicted to the person, you become addicted to the hope that the good day will return. You endure the pain, chasing the high of the reward. This chemical, addictive cycle is the engine of what psychologists call a trauma bond. A trauma bond is a cruel distortion of love. It's a deep, loyal connection that forms because of the abuse, not in spite of it. It's forged in the intense, shared moments of the abuse cycle, the tension, the explosion, and most critically, the honeymoon reconciliation phase. Let's consider a practical, anonymous example. Think of Sarah. Sarah is a highly successful executive. She's decisive, respected, and brilliant at her job. Her partner, Mark, is charismatic but incredibly volatile. For weeks, he will be hypercritical, telling her she's too loud at parties, not smart enough to understand his problems, or lucky he stays with her. He chips away at her confidence until she feels small and worthless. Then, just as Sarah is at her breaking point, Mark will have a good day. He'll bring her flowers, cook her dinner, and tell her, "You are the only thing that makes my life worth living. I'm just so scared of losing you." In that moment, Sarah doesn't feel abused. She feels essential. She feels the relief of the tension ending. Her brain mistakes that intense relief for intense love. She is now bonded not to Mark, the man, but to Mark, her saviour from the very pain he inflicts. That is a trauma bond. It's not love, it's a hostage and captor dynamic disguised as romance. If trauma bonding is the chemical chain, cognitive dissonance is the mental prison that stops us from even seeing the bars. This theory, developed by Leon Festinger, describes the profound psychological discomfort we feel when we hold two or more contradictory beliefs at the same time. And in a toxic relationship, the dissonance is deafening. Belief 1. I am a smart, logical person who makes good decisions, and I love my partner. Belief 2. My partner lies to me, insults me, frightens me, and is destroying my life. These two beliefs cannot coexist peacefully. The mental tension is unbearable. The brain must resolve this conflict. Now, a healthy, external observer would resolve it easily. Belief 2 is the reality. The relationship is toxic. I must leave to honor belief 1, that I am smart. But the person inside the relationship is already chemically bonded. They are desperate for belief 1 to be true, so their brain chooses a different path. Instead of changing their situation, they change their perception. They begin to justify, minimize, and rationalize the abuse. This isn't a conscious choice. It's an unconscious, self-protective mechanism to reduce the mental pain of the dissonance. You will hear the dissonance being resolved in real time. When someone says, "He only acts like that when he's stressed from work," they are rationalizing the abuse to make it fit belief 1. When they say, "It's not that bad, he's never actually hit me," they are minimizing the emotional damage. When they say, "If I just learn to be quieter or more supportive, then he won't get so angry," they are blaming themselves, because believing it's my fault is, perversely, less painful than believing the person I love is intentionally cruel. Let's look at another brief case. David. David values loyalty and family above all else. His wife constantly belittles his career in front of their friends. "David's just happy in his little cubicle," she'll say. "He doesn't have the ambition I do." This creates a massive conflict for David. Belief 1. I am a loyal husband and a good father. My marriage is my priority. Belief 2. My wife, the person I'm loyal to, does not respect me. To resolve this, David's brain goes to work. He tells himself, "She's just joking. That's just her sense of humor." Or, he rationalizes, "She's under a lot of pressure and she just wants to motivate me. It's coming from a place of love." David is not stupid. His brain is simply protecting him. It has built a mental buffer, a fantasy, to avoid the devastating conclusion that his entire life is built on a foundation of disrespect. This is why when you present a victim with cold, hard facts. Here is a recording of what they said. Here are the text messages. They will often defend the abuser. They are not defending the person. They are defending their own sanity. They are defending the entire mental structure they've built to survive. To accept your facts would mean accepting the full, crushing weight of their reality, and their mind is just not ready for that. We are halfway through this deep dive, and if this content is resonating with you, if it's providing clarity or helping you understand a complex situation, please consider subscribing to our channel. Our goal is to demystify the hard parts of psychology, and your support helps us continue that mission. Now, we must address the final and perhaps darkest stage. This combination of chemical addiction, trauma bonding, and mental gymnastics, cognitive dissonance, leads to the final, darkest stage, learned helplessness. This concept was first demonstrated in the 1960 seconds by psychologist Martin Seligman. In his experiment, dogs were placed in a box and given a mild electric shock. One group of dogs could press a lever to stop the shock. The other group had no control. The shock was random and inescapable. Later, both groups were placed in a new box where they could easily escape the shock by jumping over a low wall. The first group of dogs, who knew they had control, all escaped. The second group, the ones who had learned that their actions didn't matter, simply lay down and whimpered. They didn't even try to escape. Even when the door to freedom was right in front of them, they had learned to be helpless. This is the psychological state of a long-term victim of abuse. Maybe they did try to leave at first, but they were hoovered back with promises. Maybe they did try to set a boundary, but that boundary was violated and they were punished for it. Maybe they did try to fix the relationship, but nothing ever changed. After months or years of this, their spirit erodes. They learn that nothing they do matters. The abuser's control becomes absolute, not because the abuser is all-powerful, but because the victim has lost their own sense of agency. They have lost the belief that they can escape. This is where the fear becomes paralyzing. It's not just the fear of, what will they do if I leave? It's a deeper, more complex set of fears. It's the fear of the practical. The abuser has often engineered total isolation. The victim has been cut off from friends and family who could help. There is often financial abuse. You can't leave. You have no money. You and the kids will be on the street. The victim believes this because it is often true. It's the fear of the self. The abuser has spent years telling them, you are worthless. Nobody else will ever love you. You are crazy. This is gaslighting. After long enough, the victim's inner voice is replaced by the abuser's. They genuinely believe they are too broken, too unlovable to survive on their own. And finally, it's the fear of the unknown. The twisted logic of survival is that the known pain of the relationship often feels safer than the unknown terror of the outside world. The relationship is a prison, yes, but it is a familiar prison. Leaving means stepping into a void, and so they stay. They lie down. They stop trying to jump the wall because they have been conditioned to believe the wall is 1,000 feet high. So, if you are watching this and you are in this situation, know this: you are not weak. You are not stupid. You are not less than. You are a human being who has been subjected to a series of powerful, manipulative, psychological tactics that are, in many ways, a form of brainwashing. You are chemically addicted to hope. You are in a state of mental conflict that has forced you to build a fortress of rationalizations, and you have been taught systematically that you are helpless. You are not making a free choice. You are a prisoner of war. And the first step to breaking any spell, the first step to liberation, is to simply see the mechanisms at work, to give a name to the invisible chains. It's not love, it's trauma bonding. It's not logic, it's cognitive dissonance. It's not reality, it's learned helplessness. Understanding why it's so hard to leave is the first, most powerful step toward finally getting free. The moment you see the architecture of your prison is the moment you can start to find the door. If you have been through this, or are going through this, you are not alone. The comment section below is a community. If you feel comfortable, share one piece of advice or one realization that helped you see the truth. By sharing our stories, we help break the isolation that these dynamics depend on. Thank you for watching.